The calendar year of 2024 has been a banner one for boxing's heavyweight division. Thanks in no small part to the investment that has come into the sport from Saudi Arabia. Fans have been treated to bouts pitting the best fighters in the weight class against each other on a regular basis. No fight, though, has been bigger than May's World Heavyweight title unification clash between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. After 12 absorbing rounds of action, it was the Ukrainian who got the nod on the judges' scorecards via a split decision. However, the pair were always destined to meet again and will do so on the 21st of December at Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Their first fight went to a decision and, according to a study commissioned by AskGamblers.com, it's unlikely that the sequel will end in the early rounds. Using data from Topology, Ask Gamblers took a look at the best-ranked heavyweights in the world according to Ring Magazine and crunched the numbers on exactly how long it took them to knock out their opposition. Perhaps surprisingly given their dominance of the heavyweight division, Usyk and Fury rank as two of the least clinical fighters on the countdown, and former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua doesn't fare much better. Below is a look at the list in full. Usyk has gone the full distance in 4 of his 6 fights as a heavyweight, with his only stoppage victories coming against Daniel Dubois and the unheralded Chaz Witherspoon. Even down at cruiserweight, where he was also undisputed champion, the 37-year-old was hardly a knockout machine. Across his 22-fight career, Usyk has finished a modest 63% of his opponents. He may favor slick footwork and razor-sharp timing over raw power, but he still nearly stopped Fury in the 9th round of their first meeting. The surging Kiwi has recorded some of the biggest wins of his professional career in recent times, overcoming the likes of Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder over the last 12 months. Parker has had to go the full 12 rounds to record those victories, though, and certainly doesn't possess one-punch knockout power. A former WBO heavyweight champion, he even won that on points by defeating Andy Ruiz Jr. of his last 8 wins. 6 have come via the scorecards. The 32-year-old remains one of the most talented men in the division. However, he likes to take his time to figure out his opposition and is unlikely to produce early fireworks. One of the most successful fighters of his generation, Fury rarely comes out of the blocks firing, but almost always finds a way to get the job done. In his 11 fights since coming back from an almost 3-year absence from the ring, the Gypsy King has finished just 3 opponents inside the first 6 rounds. Having been on the wrong end of a decision last time out, Fury is not likely to be keen to leave his fate in the hands of the judges when it comes to the Usyk rematch. However, it would be a major surprise if he were to change up his style and go hunting for an early finish. Joshua was a wrecking machine in the early part of his career, but has become more conservative as the years have rolled on, resulting in an overall average KO time of just over 10 minutes. AJ took less than 5 minutes to win his first world title when he blitzed Charles Martin in April 2016. But a number of his signature victories, including triumphs over Vladimir Klitschko and Andy Ruiz Jr., have gone into the later rounds. The Watford-born fighter proved that he still has strong knockout instincts in his last victory, though, as he smashed former UFC champion Francis Ngannou in just 2 rounds. Of Hrgovic's 17 professional wins, 13 have come by knockout inside the first 6 rounds. Granted, the opposition in many of those fights wasn't at an elite level, but the Croatian still deserves plenty of respect for being able to close the show in such rapid fashion. Unfortunately for Hrgovic, as the quality of his foes has increased, his performances have become less impressive. This trend culminated in him suffering the first defeat of his career against Daniel Dubois last time out. Such was the form of Dubois in the early stages of his career that it was considered an achievement simply to make it out of the first few rounds against him. None of his first 7 foes as a professional lasted longer than the 3rd round, and Dynamite was considered to be one of the deadliest punchers in the division. That reputation took a knock when he lost by KO to both Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. But he has bounced back in fine style in recent fights. Dubois is currently on a 3-bout winning streak, with each of those wins coming by stoppage. His most recent success saw him take out Anthony Joshua inside 5 rounds to win the IBF heavyweight title at Wembley Stadium. Having made plenty of waves on the domestic scene, Wardley grabbed the attention of the boxing world when he quite literally broke the face of Frazer Clarke in the first round of their rematch on the undercard of Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol in mid-October. It was the 6th first-round stoppage win of his career, and it couldn't have come at a better time with so much attention focused on the card. Still undefeated, Wardley has finished 17 opponents by knockout, only winning on points once on his professional debut. The heavy-handed 29-year-old looks ready to break into the heavyweight elite. Bacol showed just how dangerous of a fighter he is when he upset the odds to beat American prospect Jared Anderson in his last bout. One of the most avoided men in the weight class, Bacol also has stoppage wins over former world title challengers Carlos Takam, Kevin Johnson and Mariusz Wach. With 16 wins by KO across a 22-fight career, Bacol has proved himself to be one of the most destructive punchers in the weight class. As much as the big names in the division might not want to face him, if he keeps producing the results, a major fight must surely be in his future. The Big Bang more than lives up to his nickname by, on average, taking less than 3 rounds to send his opponents to sleep. Of his 27 victories, 12 haven't made it past the opening round. At 41 years old, most fighters have long since hung up their gloves. Zhang doesn't appear to be in any mood to walk away from the sport, though. His last 3 wins have seen him knock out Joe Joyce twice, and former WBC heavyweight titleholder Deontay Wilder. There's plenty to suggest he is capable of continuing that rich run of form too. You can argue with the quality of the opposition on Caballo's 25-fight unbeaten resume. However, what's harder to find fault with is the manner in which the German prospect has been demolishing the men he has faced. With 13 wins inside the first 3 rounds, the 32-year-old has no problem finishing his foes once they are in trouble. His blistering record has seen him rise into the top 10 heavyweights in the world, where he now looks set to be handed an opportunity to fight in an eliminator for the IBF crown currently held by Daniel Dubois. Nigerian slugger Ajagba set an insane pace in his early career, finishing 7 of his first 8 opponents inside the opening round. Although the 30-year-old was never likely to keep up that pace, he still likes to work quickly. The reigning WBC silver heavyweight champion has needed less than 4 rounds to beat 2 of his last 3 opponents. Ajagba was rumored to be stepping into the ring with former world title challenger Luis Ortiz earlier this year, although that particular fight didn't materialize. Given his limited name value on the global stage and his ability to catch opponents early, Ajagba may struggle to tempt fellow highly ranked contenders into the ring.